Yes. Okay. Hello to everyone, and welcome to this evening. And I share some of my background. My background is in chemistry, physical chemistry, software and college science, and I have worked in academia, and then I have worked in industry, and actually doing a patent on UV protection using physical filters. Um, and we showed one sample to a customer. They immediately started to buy, and we had no production in Kemira at that time. So I had then to start the company. That was the company I work now rest of my life in. And uh, the fountain of life material uh, was something that came into light because I was developing the sun protection. And in sun protection, you will need first UVB protection and then broadband protection UVA, but you would need also free radical antioxidant additives to that. And most of those that were used were not working well because they were heat sensitive. So, like vitamins, they didn't last, and then they could not regenerate themselves. And then I found out about this nature's wonder lignans and started then to work with that. And from that, we got then this serum that you use and I use daily.
Yes. And I think that's why we're looking younger and younger every single day.
Yeah. Yes, and okay, so and during these years we have of course looked more and more into what kind of actions we can get and what benefits we can get out of it, and we're still finding new ones.
All right, Dr. A, let's get started. Let's start with some fun stories. What mesmerized me about the story of the Norwegian spruce tree was the story you told me about some type of mad scientist who his wife told him to cut down the tree.
Yes.
And then tell us that story, please, guys, because that's just mind-boggling. And by the way, I have my version of that story as well. I'll share afterwards.
Okay, so actually, I was studying in Åbo Academy in Turku, but I made my thesis in Lund in Sweden. But in Turku, I worked with a professor there, and he had a summer house, and his wife was always annoyed of the big spruce tree that was taking out the sun from her view. And she had demanded him to take it down many years, and then finally he took it down. And since he was a professor in wood chemistry, cellulose and wood chemistry, he of course then was also interested to look a little bit closer to that. And then everything else had been studied, but not the branch root. So where the branch goes into the trunk, and that is a harder part, and it's more brownish, and it contains then chemicals. So he decided then to study that and found out then that it contained a lot of lignans, much more than you will find anywhere else. And that started then all these projects.
But then he said something about he had it in his fridge for a while.
Yeah, he had it maybe 1 year until he could analyze it in the laboratory. Then so it took a while before he got some interesting results done in the laboratory.
And it was still green after a year.
Yeah.
So it was something like this happened to me because I was building a home on the coast, I had to take out 2 trees. So I did a lot of videos and stories on this on social media. So I took a regular tree down and a spruce tree down. And within 2 weeks, the regular tree was dry because on the floor. The spruce tree had no idea he was sideways. 4 months later, I did another video. 4 months later, 80% of the tree still green, 20% yellow, still sideways. Next summer, I took another video. It was mostly yellow now, but it was still green. You know, I always talk about, and it's amazing the power that tree has to self-preserve. And I guess that's one of the things about the Norwegian spruce tree. What do they call it? Eternal disease-free tree?
Yeah. Yes. And okay. Anyway, we have analyzed more than 40 different trees for different parts of them and looked at
Spruce
this
trees.
Spruce and other trees. And we selected this because the chemistry of this was straightforward.
Very good. So, Doc, you know, whether you're 1 day old in my business or you've been here since 8 years since we've had the Fountain of Life, the question always comes up. People are so mesmerized by this product. The question comes up, exclusivity, because, you know, in our industry, that's important. And also people make sure that we always have this product. So I've just got some quick questions that I really want to get into your stories because this is what we're here for. So first of all, is there any other lab other than yours that makes this type of extract?
Not to my knowledge, but of course we cannot follow the whole world, and of course there could be others, but we have not heard about them.
Okay, so is there how many versions of this do you make? Because I know there's different versions of this extract, different versions like topical and
okay, yes. So we have them in use them in different solvents. Different type of glycols depends on the use in the cosmetic industry, and there they use it in the pentylene glycol or butylene glycol and some others. But we can also use it in that we have made in sunscreens, and I will show you some about
so
that.
there is a topical version that's not suited for internal use. And
Yeah,
then there is food grade, which we have exclusivity for.
yeah. The only food grade that we do is what you buy.
Okay, so tell us about our exclusivity because people come out and ask that question quite a lot about the food grade.
The exclusivity in that we have the patents of extracting and using this in this manner we do, and we have extended it also, of course, to use in different cosmetic formulations and also in other industrial uses.
No, my question was the exclusivity that Opulence Global has on the food
Yeah.
grade.
Yeah, you are the only one we sell the food grade to.
So, if someone can anyone get it from you? If somebody call you, another company call you, can they get the food grade, the one that we have in the Fountain of Life?
No.
All right, so that's important. I just want to move on to some really good because I know you got great stories. I want to hear those stories. I actually came across a video, Thomas, a few years ago where you showed us some charts about fatty liver, some of the tests on mice, and all that cool stuff. Why don't you tell us some of that? Maybe about the mice test, weight loss. I mean, you know, when you feed them with a bunch of calories, and tell us something about that. Or is it part of your PowerPoint?
It
Yes.
is actually, yes. I think Ramin, it's really important that we start to talk a little bit about what makes this super product so incredible, and that is the word lignans. And Thomas, the word lignans, I remember the first time that we heard about it in 2017, you said lignans, and I went, what? Because we didn't understand the terminology. Can you give us a little introduction? I'm going to pull up some of your slides for you as well that you shared with me earlier, which I am so excited for you to share with everybody. Okay.
Before we start that, I want to tell the folks about difference between spruce trees. In Canada, spruce trees are fat and short. In Norway and Finland, they're skinny and tall because the weather is so treacherous. There's so much snow. Over centuries, the tree has learned how to defend itself against weight. And they call this tree a disease-free eternal because it lasts hundreds of years. It goes hundreds of feet up in the air. Most trees, when they lose a limb, they go dry. The spruce tree defends itself and heals itself within 30 days. Here in Canada, you don't have to go far. What happens in the winter minus 20 degrees? Every tree is yellow and dry till next summer, right? Every tree, except one. Minus 20 degrees, spruce tree's happy and green. Has no clue it's minus 20 degrees. While every other tree's dry and dead till next summer, this spruce tree's happy. So that shows the strength of this tree, and that's what we're consuming. So go ahead, Sanaz.
Well, I think, one of the key factors that Thomas has done so much study, which I'm so excited to hear about, is lignans in our food. And I think, Thomas, this is something that we'll get into all of the different slides and the studies that you have. But let's start off with something simple so that all of our brand new people can kind of understand a little bit the power of this. And let's talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, okay. So here is now the reference of the scientific in a scientific journal, and here is names like Holmboom, and that was the professor that first cut the spruce in front of his summer house. And I worked with this. There has not been enough studies of content of lignans in food, and there was a controversy on this because they also thought that these lignans that we have in the spruce would not be in the food. So that's why this study was done, to show that the same lignans we use here, we also find in other food raw materials. And here is just shown the molecular structure of these lignans, and our main component is the first one left top, 7-hydroxymatter-resinol. And it also can then be modified to other lignans like alpha-condendrin, the 23, or larissi-resinol, or cyclolarissi-resinol, or matter-resinol, or seco-isolarissi-resinol, the left down number 10. And I will show then that the stability of them is what is changing. The molecular structure is about the same. Okay, so here now we have a list of lignans that we find in food material, raw materials. And with red, I put up these that we have in the spruce. We have some more also of them, but this is the most common.
So all 5 in one product.
Yes, and so here you have then the number of lignans that we have previously shown there, the molecular structure, and then we have like in rye or wheat or oats or barley, brown rice or linseed, sesame seeds, and so on, and the content of these in different raw materials. Next one. So if you then analyze these different raw materials, and you add their, depends on how you analyze, and that was the purpose, that we used different analyzing methods, and that's why you have 4 pillars for each raw material, and depends on if it's acidic or alkaline, you get different results in the extraction. Okay, anyway, you can determine quite well the concentrations on these raw materials here. And you see It's microgram per gram of the raw material. Next one. Okay, so now we come to the interesting thing. Number 16 is our main component in the spruce. And that you see is in quite many of the raw materials we eat. And you note that at the left, number 10, linseed contains a lot of number 10, and that is the iso residol, and it's famous for the flaxseed of containing it. The difference to our is that the flaxseed molecule contains two glycolic moieties on the end of that molecule, and that makes the molecule so big that it cannot penetrate the blood-brain barrier. That is important. That is one difference. Okay, next one. Here is the minor lignans. That means those that they calculate would be minor in content. And then if you take next one, here we have added all lignans, major and minors, and then compared different way of extracting it. And you see that rye and wheat have the highest pillars. They are those that are most rich in lignans. And that means also that if you look on the right-hand side, you see durra. And durra is often used for pasta. So here you see that if you eat pasta and maybe pizza and these rice, you don't get much lignans. And in old days, children and all were always eating porridge in the morning. Not anymore. And that has changed. Of course, this change in the menu has probably given rise then to problems of your health, like metabolic disorder and other. So my conclusion of this is that changing the menu during the years probably have affected our health. Okay, here was some more information, but the main point here at that time was that we could find the lignans that we extract from the spruce in all raw materials. Okay, so more or less that was the content of that stuff.
So Thomas, I think what's really important is that when we comparing, product like the Fountain of Life and really what it does to the body, giving it the plant antioxidant. Let's talk a little bit about that because you educated us on the lignin, and we didn't know what's a lignin based on the liquid, the extraction process. You're taking the purity of what you need in a plant antioxidant and we're putting it into this product. And that's why so many people are starting to see a difference in their inflammation and the element that it's an antibacterial product. That's why you could use it in the skincare. I mean, there's different versions. If you just got online a little bit later, Dr.A shared with us, there's different types of grades of this product. There's a skincare one that, originally started, and then it went into the food source, and the one that we are basically bottling into the Fountain of Life, and we're eating it. And there's the benefits of topically and even on your hair, on your skin, as well as eating it. Is that right?
Yeah. So I have then another presentation there on the bioactivity of AOX, wound healing, and
I'm going to pull those up as well. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the lignins, and then I want to talk about the metabolism, because I know for myself, and also lignins in the brain, I think that's important. A lot of these elements, people have always asked us, and Thomas, maybe you could respond. How could one, incredible product as such do so many different incredible things in the body and the immune system and help?
Well, the one thing is, as you mentioned in the beginning, that we have much snow, and when the snow is on the branch, it's a risk that the branch breaks. And since that has happened, the tree have evaluated, progressed in that sense that it has started to make more of the lignans that it puts out in the wound when the branch has broken, and that then protects the tree against microbes, fungi, and so on. Uh, and also, of course, it's an antioxidant, free radical scavenger.
So
So,
basically, because it's constantly under attack by the weather
yeah,
over centuries, it's learned to trigger response, and now it's a lot more protective than other trees.
yeah.
Very good. You talked something about flaxseed, the size, why it cannot penetrate the brain barrier. We have something similar with our microsilver product, where the reason why it's got 84 patents is because it is at a size where it doesn't penetrate the top layer of skin, and it doesn't hurt you, because silver could hurt good bacteria, where nano silver is very dangerous. So again, so the magic was in Germany, the magic was the 84 patent was based on the size. So I guess what they were saying was about the same thing about flaxseed. The size, it's like peptides, right? Peptides and it works better than the raw material. So this is what you're saying, that why ours works so well at flaxseed is loses a lot of its effectiveness.
Yes, since it contains in the lignan there in the end contains the glucoside moiety, then it cannot penetrate the blood-brain barrier, for instance.
Thomas, question. I don't know if you want to talk about this. When Sanaz and I came to Finland, you brought us to a university where all the testing was being done. I mean, Finland is a big pharma country, right? I mean, that's all you guys do. I remember I had dinner with you and your family. Everybody but me and Sanaz were doctors and scientists. So that. Do you want to talk a little about that test you were doing, or are you not comfortable?
Well, of course, since I come from the science side, I'm always interested to convert the science, the knowledge into products that are useful for people. That is my aim all the time. And in order to learn more, you have to then have ideas of what to investigate and how to proceed. And I have been fortunate in that sense that I have got help from my family. So I will show you also some dates from that Tuvan, my youngest daughter, was doing in Turku at the Cancer Research Institute there.
Very good. So, you ready?
Ready to go. So I think the first one that we are going to share, which, truly, we've realized since 2017, distributing this product, that lignans do change the world. And, to hear it directly from Dr.A, I am so excited, because this has been a revolution and change of all of our health, and including all of us that are here today. So Thomas, let's get started.
Okay, so here was a study done by comparing, high-fat diet, normal people eat too much, get too much energy, and they get fat and get all kind of diseases like diabetes and so on. And of course, as I told you earlier, we changed our diet from eating porridge in the morning to eating bread and pizza, burgers, and pasta that are low in lignans. And we burn less calories during the day, and we have less physical work.
Absolutely. And I think this is contributing to deteriorating health. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the consequence has been that people gain weight. They accumulate something we call TAG. It's like fat droplets in the body, and especially also around the stomach and in the liver. And weight is increasing, and the fat droplets induce in your body a low level inflammation that becomes chronic. And you cannot counteract it enough because you don't get enough of these antioxidants.
Great.
Okay, so a consequence of that, you have seen, if you see pictures from people from the 16th or 70s, 1960s and 1970s, and see the pictures of people at this year, you will see that a lot of people are overweight. And they have then developed this metabolic syndrome, and that means diabetes 2, high glucose problem, fat liver, insulin production and insulin resistance, eyesight problems, urination problems, sleeping problems, and inflammations.
So, Thomas, what you're saying is that most of the people that are suffering from basically all of the metabolic syndrome is basically based on the food. They're not getting enough of what they need from their diet because our
Yeah,
food have changed, the process, the soil, the water.
yeah, food and exercise, I would
Hmm.
say.
Yeah. And because we're not walking as much and we're not doing as much as we used to.
Uh, Yes, and you could also say that we have easier access to food and high rich food, and people are constantly hungry and thirsty. So maybe earlier we didn't have access to food all the time like we have today. Okay, so now, fortunately, we can remedy part of this by intake of fountain of life, and that can reverse many of these metabolic syndrome values that we measure from the blood. Okay, so next one. So here I show a profile of intake of the main lignan we have, HMR, and you see that if you take 36 milligram here we have for Weissritz, 1 hour 60 minutes until we reach top in the concentration in the blood plasma, and then it goes down. Next one. So what happens when you eat is that part of the lignan HMR is converted to enterolactone by the enzymatic process we have, and that shows up then that the enterolactone concentration in blood plasma increases, and the maximum is coming about after 24 hours.
Can you explain enterolactone a little bit? You know, when the lignin is converted into the
Yeah, it's a small change in the molecular structure. It's one binding there that is changed only. And enterolactone has been known to be your main component for attacking inflammation in the blood. So it's anti-inflammatory.
I love that.
Okay, so in the test, we used pure main lignan component 7-HMR, and then the extract that we have in the Fountain of Life. And we fed mice for 60 days with high-fat food or low-fat food, and in the high-fat food we could use then the pure lignan, and then in other we could use the extract.
I love that.
Okay, just go for the okay. So I have graphs on this, but we clearly can see big changes in the blood plasma picture, and it clearly showed that the lignans even used at this amount we used clearly counteracted the metabolic imbalances. And if you go to next one, I'll show pictures. So here you have the repeated, a low-fat diet only, and then compared to high-fat diet, and then high-fat diet with HMR pure, or with the extract we use in Fountain of Life. Okay, so to left A, you see the gain of weight, total body weight of the mice for 60 days. And in the B figure, you see that low-fat diet produced about 6 gram total body weight, high-fat diet about 9 grams. That means 50% higher body weight. And just added pure lignan or the concentrate, we could reduce 18% of the body weight. Now,
just by not changing anything,
yeah,
just adding lignans, same diet, you
yeah,
drop 18% weight just because lignan changes some of the chemistry in our body by being there.
yeah, and then below there is looking at the fat content and so on. But next one. Okay, so here we have the glucose level, and here is the dynamics of it, and you can see that we really can change the numbers. Next one. You can jump over this next one. So here you see now then to the blood glucose, the B left top. You see that low-fat diet had about 95 maybe in glucose content, and high-fat diet, from that value we could reduce the glucose level about 14%. And then we have below in D, we have the insulin. And from there you could see that we could reduce the high-fat diet insulin number maybe 89%, nearly to the level of low-fat diet. And also the insulin resistance, we could nearly 80% reduce from the high-fat diet.
Dr.A, hold on. On the chart, the top on the right side, it shows low-fat diet. If you had perfect diet, you'd still not do as good as having high-fat diet with FOL in it, or lignans in it. Because I look at the numbers, right? So that's what it shows. It shows that it's even lower when you're on the lignans with high-fat diet, even if you were against low-fat diet. Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, with low-fat diet, you don't produce so much sugar, glucose. So you don't stress the body in that. And people that eat low-fat diet are skinny. So with a high-fat diet, you are fat, and that creates then a lot of glucose in the
I
blood,
love the subtlety.
and that will harm your system. But
So, Dr.
clearly,
A, we're getting a lot of diabetes testimony. Is this why?
yeah, this is the reason why you get the response from people. Okay, next one. Here is pictures of fat globules, and you can see here that from the high-fat diet that produces a lot of these fat cells, we can reduce the amount by lignans. Next one.
Thomas, is this similar to people who have, for example, fatty liver?
Yeah, and that, in the next one I show more on that.
Okay.
So here you have then the fatty liver cells. The previous were normal fat cells. And this is because the body tries to accumulate the energy that it cannot use as a fat, and also to the liver, where it quickly could convert it to energy again. And in the liver fat, we saw a dramatic change. So there you see we could reduce the liver fat nearly to the same level as low-fat diet.
Dr. A, this is really important because people who drink a lot of alcohol, what happens is that you see after a while they get drunk faster. That means that the liver is not doing its job as effectively anymore as it used to earlier. So this is amazing for people who love to drink because it protects your liver.
Yeah, but at the same time, we have noticed that even people that don't drink alcohol, they create this liver fat a lot, and that is a dramatic change now in the measurements of this metabolic syndrome. That even if you don't drink any alcohol, you accumulate then at high-fat diets a lot of fat into the liver.
Thomas, we did quite a bit of studies when it came to how many drops someone should be taking. Fatty liver is very common, but based on the food and diet, based on their lifestyle, based on, toxins that they're surrounded by on a daily basis. How many drops? I know we've always recommended based on the body weight and the body mass, how
Yeah.
someone should be using the drops. But for someone because there's a lot of people with fatty liver, there's a lot of people that want to be able to help their bodies heal again, and the liver is such a huge functioning organ. What would you recommend in the sense of drops morning with food for someone?
Yes, if you are in bad condition and had bad problems, then you have to take more because it's multifunctional. So it's not only reducing the liver fat, but it's also helping with the inflammation.
Yes.
And it also helps you with your hunger. So if you have very big difficulties to control your intake of food, then you need more of these drops. So we started, as you remember, I told that maybe 5 drops would be okay for a normal person. But then, of course, there's a lot of persons that are very overweight, and they have a lot of other problems also. And then we told that it would be okay if you could take, a droplet in the morning and one in the evening. And since it also is a pain relief, as you noticed, then sometimes you have toothache or some other inflammation, then you could use more. And as you know, when you use it topically, if you have burnt your skin or something, then you can use several times a day on that spot this material, and then locally the concentration is much more than you put in the mouth.
Absolutely.
So, Dr.A, give us the consequences of fatty liver.
Okay, so I think the fatty liver has come up as one of the major things that they have recognized now in the metabolic syndrome problem, besides the diabetes. And when your liver is too fatty, it's also its function is going down, and you get liver disease, so to say, and that can be very, very dangerous.
Yes. And so I think what's really important, Thomas, that we've been talking with a lot of our customers, that they are seeing benefits from using this, customers that are having fatty liver, but we're recommending for them to take about 30 to 50 drops
Yeah,
on a daily basis. We're recommending them to take it with food, like you taught us when we discussed this. We know that our food source is not what it used to be, and we definitely need to supplement our bodies with a powerful lignin, and that is, of course, in the fountain of life. And that's why we do recommend. Many of our customers are taking 30, 50, even 70 to 90 drops on a daily basis.
yeah, but it
Doc,
could, I don't know for sure, but it could be also good that sometimes jump over it for a few days and then start again.
Reset it.
Yeah,
so Dr.A, we know this product is antibacterial
yeah.
or microbial, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant. What happens to your bodies? Because inflammation is a horrible thing for the body, isn't it? Give us some of the consequences of that and what causes it.
Okay, so if you take the next slide,
Yeah.
one more. Yeah. So EL6, the A, left hand side up, inflammation. IL-6 and TNF alpha are indicators of inflammation. And you see at low fat food compared to high fat food generates much more inflammation. And now using the lignans, we can reduce the high fat food generated inflammation. So there we see the anti-inflammatory action of it. Then you also have this lepine that is on the right-hand side, top part. Lepine, and lepine is an enzyme that controls your hunger. So people eating high-fat food usually cannot control how much they eat. They eat and they need more. But skinny people, they can control the intake. And the difference there is in the lepine, probably, the signaling substance for hunger. And here we see we can change it. So that tells me then that the improvement here might be also on your signaling system for hunger.
Ah, interesting.
Interesting. So I've been doing intermittent fasting for 5 years now, Dr.A, but I do take my FOL. Maybe that's why I can do it so easily, because it's controlling my lepine, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Interesting.
It was same thing for me. I mean, Thomas, if you remember, one of the biggest benefits that I got when I started to use the drops was I started to lose weight. In about now, it's been almost 6 years I've been on this product. You can see my skin is much
Yeah.
younger, my hair has grown, I've lost almost 100 pounds from the product.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have asked me, how do you use it? And I say, honestly, I'm not as hungry. My hormones are more balanced, and it's really making a difference.
Yeah, sure. And okay, so you talked about the hormones. So there is also indications that menopause women benefit from this.
Yes. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and how that works? Because we have lots of women that I think there's more education about premenopause, menopause that's happening right now, hot flashes, discomfort, agitation in the mood, the body composition is changing. How does the Fountain of Life drops helps with the hormone balancing? Can you talk to us? Because this is extremely important as well.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I have not had the resources to study that more, clearly there has been indications that people eating this have told that it helps, and
So,
how it helps. There could be one reason is that some of these components go through the blood-brain barrier, and then that way uh, maybe helps with the changing the system to more normal.
Dr. A, what I'm more interested in is about inflammation because it's the root cause of so many problems. In simple language that we can understand, what causes inflammation?
What I didn't hear.
What causes inflammation?
Okay. So the inflammation is a reaction of your immune system. So your immune system thinks that there is something bad coming to your body, like the TAG, the fat droplets from eating too rich food. So it creates then the fat droplets, and they are then interacting with your immune system, and immune system reacts with the inflammation reaction.
So fat droplets is the cause, which comes from food. So
Yeah,
yeah, so that's what so that's the root cause of pretty much a lot of things.
yeah. Okay, next one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here was just some more measurements. I have not looked very much more than I think the general information here is clear. It's beneficial on many levels. It's multifunctional, and we don't even know all the functions. As I told, that you can interact with your brain, and in the brain you have the control systems to many issues.
So, Dr. A, I'm just going to say something to our team because many of our team come from other companies. Team, I've been doing this for 35 years. In health companies, they talk about some general stuff about the benefit of some herb that they found on the internet. Like, or at the very most, a few companies, well, here's a blood test result that anything similar can cause. This is real science. This is the stuff that a scientist has been doing. How many years have you been doing this, Thomas?
I cannot tell for sure how many, but many.
Many years.
Yeah.
But this is real science, right? This is stuff that we
Yeah.
had to give to Health Canada to understand how you eat a tree. Because
Yeah.
at first Health Canada says, how do you eat a tree? There's no fruit there. This is the stuff that Thomas does. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think it was ending of this presentation here. Yeah, there's some references on that. And if you then look at yeah, one consequence of this, we could look. Could you give me the lignans in UV concentrates?
Is there a slide that we're looking at,
Yeah.
Dr. A?
No, the other presentation,
Oh, the other
lignans.
president. Okay. So Sanaz, while you're working on that. So Dr. A, what's I remember seeing one slide you showed me before. I have that video still. That the antioxidant level when you go on a FOL, something about 48 hours, how it lasts for.
Yeah, so when you put in the mouth, part of it goes directly into your bloodstream, and when you swallow it, or it's mixed with the saliva, there's enzymes that change one binding there, so it becomes enterolactone. That is known anti-inflammatory substance in the blood.
Now, you always tell me how before you swallow it, you use your tongue to for antibacterial of your mouth. Talk about that.
Okay, so I have a presentation on the antimicrobial
Give me 1 second here.
multifunctional UV content. Yes.
This one, right?
Yeah, I will give now you an example what we can achieve. Yes, so we have added those lignans, of course, to earlier also to our sunscreen concentrates that we sell. But now adding these lignans to the concentrates that we have earlier done, we add there then antioxidant capacity, antimicrobial effect, anti-inflammatory, wound healing, burn healing, and then also anti-cancer effect. So I put there the measurement of the concentrate, SPF in vitro 720 plus minus 80 or something like that, UVA 109 plus minus something, and but the US like is the lambda critical. It should be bigger than 372. We have 381. That means it's extending the protection nearly to visible light. Here I just show that the thing that was lacking from normal sunscreen is that the vitamins they put there, vitamin C or E, and so they are not regenerating themselves. So when they are taking up a free radical, they are destroyed, or they are destroyed only by the heat, like vitamin E. So here you see that it shows pathway how it can get rid of the free radical. Next one. So regardless of the pathway that it takes, this system can regenerate antioxidant again, scavenge a new free radical by donating its phenolic hydrogen atom. And that means what I talked to you earlier, that the FOL, it can regenerate itself. So that's why it's very long lasting. And I could also say that the concentrate, the extract itself contains dimers, trimers, oligomers, all these lignans that are a result of this regeneration, one of the pathways. Next one. Yes, so one thing that experts never know when I ask that how quickly, on which time scale is this scavenging going, that they take up free radicals and that way neutralize it. So here we have made a system where you generate free radicals, and then you add there the same amount of different active molecules, and then you see how many minutes it takes to get kill 50% of the free radicals. And you see that seco-isolaric is 5 minutes, Materia 16, HMR 10, vitamin E 2, vitamin C 2, and then BHT, that is word most used antioxidant, 81 minutes.
Wow.
The time scale is quite different. So that's why we say that using the lignans that can regenerate themselves and are heat resistant, unlike vitamin E and C that don't last in heat, but they would be very beneficial to have in cosmetics if you can use them fresh.
And I think, Thomas, you just hit something, the way that we discovered our product, if you remember, it was originally we added it to our skincare.
Yeah,
And we started to create amazing skincare that was really changing the formation of the skin, the elasticity, removing fine lines and wrinkles, lifting, tightening, toning. That's how it all came to be. And it was combined with other ingredients. It
yeah,
acted, there was no synthetics, there was no dyes. We didn't have to add any of that. We could create a great, clean ingredients that was
yeah,
added to our skincare. Now imagine putting that into your skin and then of course into your body as well.
yeah. Okay, next one.
Love that.
So here is then the bacteriostatic efficacy. So you see here on left side type of microbes. There is gram positive, gram negative, non-fermentive yeast, dandruff, is Malassezia furfur, and then molds. And the way the CTFA challenging test is done, that when you oculate them with this material, then you test after 2 hours, 4, 24, 48 hours, and then 7 days. And in all those tests, these were clean.
Beautiful.
Okay,
Fantastic.
and that's why using it is as in shampoo, for instance, helps you with the dandruff, because most actives they have used have lost the activity or the dandruff yeast have already been acquainted with the dose, so it doesn't work any more any that well. So that's why you need new substances. And actually, these lignans, they are not registered as anti-dandruff medical. We say just that antioxidant shampoo, but the consequence of usage is that you can get rid of dandruff.
Yeah, we actually, Thomas, have added this into our shampoos
Yeah,
and it's done very well. We do have lots of testimonials with clients that their dandruff is going away, their scalp health is much healthier, the
yeah.
hair root is much stronger as well.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other issue is when using lignans here as the antibacterial material is that those that they usually use are losing more and more their efficacy. So would be very important to find new active materials, and I think we will find it from the nature.
Okay.
Okay, and here is again, because this was a presentation for the sun protection where we have added, then I have the same picture here showing that we can reduce the inflammation, and you see the IL-6 and TNF alpha I showed you earlier by taking the drops. So of course, through the skin, you also get it into your blood plasma, and you can detect the same things there. Okay, next one.
Yep. This is the fat metabolism
Yeah,
antioxidant.
yeah, yeah. Next one. Okay, so wound healing, and you can burn your skin. So we know that if you burn your skin by something in the kitchen or somewhere else, and you add this to the you will find within 5 minutes about that the pain is going away, and you don't get the inflammation, and the healing is quite fast. And you apply it on the burnt skin a few times a day. And having these lignans in topical applications, or if you have sudden wounds like that, you can use the droplets as such. That is how I do it. I have the droplets.
I'm just going to give a warning for the next slide. It is a little bit graphic, but of course it's important as well
Yeah.
for wound healing. So I'm just giving everyone a
Yes.
disclaimer.
Okay, so this is old patient that have got the, what do you call this, pressure wound, lying in the hospital.
Mhm.
And then they made a study on that, but there was a few pictures I got. So it really was able to help with the healing. And those patients they used were much quicker recovered than with the normal procedures.
This one is, I think, what our CEO was asking you, and this is something
Yeah.
that is extremely a very important topic that I'd like for you to focus on a little bit as well.
Yeah. So I told you a few times earlier that we know that the lignans have effects on cancer. And now my daughter, when she was making her graduation, she asked if I would have any suggestions, and of course, yeah, I had.
Of course.
So, yeah, and the professor there, Eriksson, was very delighted in that sense that it was in Turku, where he had already known about the studies about the lignans that they have done. So he was very happy to take up that subject. Okay, so next slide. So this is, for instance, the results. Then this is a dynamic study where they grow prostate cancer cells, and then they add different amounts of the lignans, and you clearly can see that we can stop the cancer growth here.
That's
So
insane.
can you
And
explain this to us? Because this is important because everybody lives with cancer cells within their bodies when the
yeah,
mutation starts. This is
yeah,
I know the first study you ever did was based on prostate cancer,
yeah.
based on lignin. Talk to us.
Yeah, so here is a follow-up, and with the modern equipment, this is just one sample. So the thing that they made that they had then continuous monitoring the cells that were growing or killed. You remember you visited the lab.
Yes.
And so with that, you could follow each cell, how it reacted to that. So there's a lot of information gathered on how it is acting, and they measured many different things. And to make it simple, I just show this. But we have a lot of information of the pathway. So I can say generally that there's something called trial pathway, and the trial pathway is let's see, I have to take this away. Trial pathway is a general picture of many different ways how to control or try to act on cancer cell growth. I think I put to you lignans and trial, but I'm not sure. But take next one.
Mm-hmm.
We have then worked, because she worked some more there, so I suggested we continue and we looked at some other components I had been interested and worked with. So here you see that they talk about this trial, tumor necrosis factor related apoptosis inducing ligand that induces death signal for the cancer cell, and it makes it selective, so it doesn't act on normal skin cells. So here's some next one.
So basically, just so I understand, in non-scientific terminology, when there's healthy cells in the body, there's cancer cells in the body, and what this does, it attacks the cancer cells. So it kills.
Selective, and so now it turns out that the lignans that we have one mechanism or few mechanisms how it affects the cancer cell to limit its growth and to kill it. But then when I add there an extra thing that I know that we have patented, also worked. Now next slide.
Yeah.
You see that when I combine them now, I can reduce the cancer cell viability to 0. And this is the level we are now in, that we have the UVB and UVA protection, and we have the antioxidant free radical scavenging, but then we have also mechanisms to prevent melanoma cells from growing or
Amazing.
other cancer cells. So,
Wow.
so I think this is the most important thing that has happened. I just got the patent in Australia also.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Well, this is, I think, the last one from this slide.
Yeah.
But Thomas, until I bring up the next slide, I think what's really, really important is that in science, everything takes time. It takes research.
Sure.
It takes human studies. We have a lot of our distributors that are in our company. We have a lot of new customers.
Yeah.
They are using the product. We are getting lots of great testimonials. We're getting patients that have the diabetic foot, like you showed in the pictures.
Yeah.
We have customers that have cancer. We have
Yeah.
customers that they're going through menopause. They're going through prostate issues, inflammation. So there's a lot of different things that we're getting a lot of feedback on. And I do have a list of questions that I would like to go over with you as well. Tell me what you would like for me to pull up next for you.
One thing I want to say here is that team, Thomas sharing scientific data. Obviously, we don't quite understand it, and the idea is not for us to understand. The idea is this product is highly, highly researched. Yes. So it's not like, somebody just chopping up a bunch of different herbs and throwing in the bottle. So this is highly researched, and I know some of these tests are very, very expensive. The imaging testing that we did on prostate cancer, I think back then, just one test alone was like 20,000 US or something, and was like a 2-week study. And Thomas is doing these type of studies all the time. What it shows us as marketers is that we have the confidence that this is one serious product that's supposed to do things. It's not a marketing machine. It's not a copy of something else. It's not. These are highly sophisticated scientists taking the product's been on for hundreds of years, and now with new technology, they're breaking it down and applying it to some of the most serious problems that we have today. If anything you get out of this presentation is that, okay, this is one serious product developed by a highly serious scientists, we can take that confidence that what we're selling and what we're saying, that it is serious, it is real, right? It's real.
Okay, so one of the special issues with our lignans that you have in the fountain of life is that some of them can penetrate the blood-brain barrier, and that is extraordinary because medical science would like to have medicines that penetrate the blood-brain barrier in order to cure different diseases. Now we seem to get it naturally. Okay, so next one. So diseases like multiple sclerosis, Parkinson, and I would add, problems with the mind, depression maybe, and others that people seem to react to this in a positive way. We don't have any clinical data on that, but in this presentation I show some remarkable results from my studies. Okay, so Parkinson's disease and many of these others has a effect on your neurological system, so that it's degenerated and you lose the contacts between the neurons, and maybe I could describe it like you having bad wiring, that the wiring isolation is lost, and then you have shortcuts, and that is one of the main issues, that the loss of the wiring isolation, it is the myelin that has been attacked by, and you lose the isolation there, and that seems to be one of the reasons why you then lose your coordination in motions and so on in Parkinson's and multiple sclerosis and so on. Okay, next one. I will go quickly through it because there's so much information here that it's better that next one I will show the results. Okay, anyway, here was used the lignans to study this, and so that is the lignans used in fountain of life. Okay, so as I told, the early signs you can see in the degradation of nerve cells that surround the gut tract in your intestine. So already several years before you have the real problems with your brain cell degradation, you can detect it earlier. So we think that it has to have something to do with your gut biome, the microbes you have in the gut, and that is being studied more and more, and so you should somehow control the gut microbe content, and it seems that some of these diseases you have a lack of a certain microbe, and I think it seems that eating these lignans, you are also changing the gut microbiome. So we are maybe acting on these not only with the substances going to the brain, the lignans, but also through changing the biome in your gut. Okay, next one. Okay, and we know we have anti-inflammatory effects, but I think we also have this effect on the gut microbiome. Okay, next one. Okay, and next one I will go to just show them. Okay. Okay. Anyway, the test that they did was done so that they generated this degeneration of dopamine terminals, and they could show that giving HMR lignans or this content, we could slow down the process that otherwise had occurred. Okay, next one. Next one. Okay, I think I have a figure on this next one.
Yep.
Here, yeah. So here you see plasma levels in blood, and then you have plasma levels in brain. And you see that if you have other sources of HMR, like you had with the flaxseed, they have this glucose moiety on the end, and that makes the molecule so big that it doesn't go through in the brain. So you see HMR on the B figure is going through, but not when they have the glucose moiety. The people notice themselves is that they lose your dynamics, in motorics. So you start to shake, or you cannot walk, and you need sticks and whatever. So here it was tested then on these mice, the change in the motorics using what they call a cylinder test in that. And we could show there that we could improve the motorics more than 50% compared to untreated animals. Okay, so here is the cylinder test. So when you develop the Parkinson or these motorical problems, giving then eating HMR, you could improve it by 50%.
We showed you all the scientific data, although this time Thomas really challenged our brains to keep up. But the idea here is there are some people that say, well, I'm healthy, or, well, I don't feel anything. Well, listen, every second of the day, your body's under attack, free radicals. We know about oxidative stress. Doc talked about some of the stuff. Like, I mean, this is what he's focusing on. It's unlimited. And there's no way for him to study the whole body, see what this product is doing. But we know, as results, are we getting tens of thousands of customers and how they're feeling about it. So, it doesn't matter whether you feel something or not. Your body's under attack. Everybody that's suffering from a chronic disease right now, whether it's cancer or heart disease or diabetes, 5 years ago, they didn't think they needed anything. 5 years ago, they never thought it was going to happen. And all of a sudden, the doctor calls. And so we take this, number one, not to solve any problems, is to prevent problems. Exactly. That's the number one reason why we should be taking this. And of course, it has ultimate, like, it's becoming clear to me that inflammation is an issue. Glucose is an issue. I find, Doc, is that this time I've heard for years, it happened to me. I got a sweet tooth. So when I'm on FOL, it brings down my sugar craving. What's going on there? Yeah, you know what, those that's fine. I think we want to keep the questions to the fountain of life and what your research is. And Doc, look, it's been amazing. Everyone's still online. Some of these guys, like 3 a.m, I talk, like, they're online. Nobody wants to go. I want to appreciate what you've done for us today. I'd like to bring you to Toronto for a conference. Are you up for that?
Yeah.
All right. And
Okay.
Well, I want to also, Ramin, take this time to really thank Dr. A, first of all, for all the incredible research. Today was meant to just enlighten all of our partners. Many of you hear about the Fountain of Life. If you missed the beginning of the call, Thomas originally started this journey with skincare, a topical version, not the one that you eat. And as you heard our CEO talk about, we talked a lot about that at the beginning of the call. There's different grades of the product. We are using the food grade that is high resistance to heat. We have the world exclusivity, as you heard from at the beginning of this call. There's a lot of research that's being done. All of your feedback, your testimonials that you give us, whether it's wound care, hair care, gut health, Parkinson's, dementia, whatever, cancer, whatever it is that it's helping you with. We do appreciate your feedback as well, and it's important for you to give us your testimonials. We have a Fountain of Life journal that you could log your results 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, a year, 2 years, 5 years. And all that research goes into helping us to create more successful copies for you, more successful stories for you, more successful testimonials. Even if you don't want to share the patient's name, if you don't want to share their face, it's okay. Just share with us what the product is doing for you. At the same time, as you heard from our founder and CEO, we're going to be inviting Dr. A to come to Toronto when we have our convention that's going to be held here in Toronto. The last time was in Niagara Falls. We had so much fun. We're going to be doing another one right here in Toronto where you can fly in, you can meet Dr. A, you can be a part of this incredible journey, you can be a part of this incredible community. And I want to really take the time to thank Dr. A for being on the call. I know it's been 3 hours. I know it's been long. We're grateful to you. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who joined us online today as well to be here. We hope that you're inspired even more about this incredible product. Now, it's important to see who is the company behind the distribution of the Fountain of Life, who is responsible to be able to create this incredible journey. And I want to take this opportunity to thank our founder and CEO for believing in this product, coming, agreeing, and of course, bringing it all to life, investing the money into it as well. So we're really, really excited for the future. And I want to thank our customers for believing in us, buying this product, and sharing your journey with us as well. Dr. A, any closing remarks?
Well, we'll get to Doc in a minute to close, but here's my perspective as a leader in this industry. If I'm sitting there as a leader in this industry, what this call would do for me isn't so much the results. We know that results are there. It's that this is one serious product. See, it's not like another company and they got some type of ginseng product that brings some material from some other ginseng product. But look what ginseng's been doing for 10 years, 100 years. This, what Dr. A showed you is scientific data on this product, not some generic, herbal Bible book. Well, look what sarsaparilla does. No, this thing is this product. And there's a lot of data. I know how much money Thomas spends on this. You could see he's a serious scientist. He does care. He wants to find out the full extent of what this product can do. It's endless in his lifetime or maybe 10 other lifetimes to know that. But he is very, very curious. He's spending money on it. This is all our data. This is your product backed by science. That's something else no one else can say. As a network marketer, that's what's important to me. Because if I'm going to talk, now I know there's data behind this. Now I know the scientist behind it believes in it. Now I know the company behind it believes in it. And because we exposed it. Maybe some of this stuff wasn't, obviously we didn't understand 99% of it. We don't have to understand. We just know a lot of work is being done behind the scene because the people who understand, they understand. So, and they believe in it. That's what they're investing heavily into this product, which you can go and promote with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For 8 straight years, we have offered that guarantee. We get no bottles back. A 100% satisfaction guarantee. Put it out there for 90 days. And if for whatever the reason we return it, Give us back the free balls. We replace your balls for you. You lost nothing. They lost nothing. But we're not worried about that. Flaunt that guarantee. Let's get out there and save the world. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Let's get out there and save the world. Dr. A, any closing comments?
Yes, I would also thank you all for attending this meeting and giving me the opportunity to speak to you directly. Thank you.